Let's wait 5 minutes for people to join because I can see that there's only few people in the meeting. Am I audible? Can someone confirm if I'm audible or not? Hello? Okay, fine. Thanks. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys. So, let's wait like 2 minutes more because there's only few people in the meeting and then we can start the class. Okay, thank you all. Thanks. Okay, maybe we can slowly start the class. People can join. So, yeah, I hope my screen's visible. So, okay, hi everyone. Let me just turn on my video. So, right. Uh, Hello everybody. Welcome to, we are almost at the end of this course, of this Python course. It's a 12-week course, and I think you're already given your 12th week lectures. Of course, this is part of the, problem solving lectures that we've been having for the last 11 weeks. So by now, you know the drill. My name is Zinia. I am a PhD student at ISC, and I've been holding these sessions essentially for you to have some practice solving some questions and having some hands-on practice for the questions and programs before you have to do them for your exam or for your assignments or whatever it is, right? And as I always say, the best way to learn programming is to do, just sit down and just write the program without overthinking it. So I hope that these, 10 weeks that we've had, you've had ample opportunity to actually sit down and do some good programming. So, yeah, that's, we're reaching the end, and I hope that now you guys have some amount of familiarity and comfort with Python that you didn't have before. In any case, today we will be talking about the week 11 material. So, in this week's lectures, again, since you are towards the end of the course, we are looking at more and more specialized things. This week, you have particularly looked at this browser automation program and you have looked at a calendar program, right? So, again, as we are moving towards the end of the Python course, since in the beginning we built up all this, basics of data structures and all those things. Now you're able to actually apply them to more and more specialized cases. As I've mentioned previously, Python, being an open source language and being an interpreter language, is a very powerful and flexible tool, and a lot of people contribute to Python, which makes it even more accessible. And what you will find is that almost every field of application that you can think of, there are specialized Python libraries and commands that you can use in that field. As I mentioned before, my field is astrophysics, and routinely find Python to be very important in my work, and yeah, I use it on the daily. So anyway, I've shown this slide a lot, but it becomes more and more important the more and more programming that you are exposed to, the more that you begin to become your own programmers and coders and go out and write your own code. This becomes even more important. Please make sure you have some good coding practices, so you don't just write code, you write nice, readable code that is understandable not only to other people but even to yourself down the line. If you look at your code from a year ago, you should be able to tell what each part of the code actually did, what was your rationale behind it. You might think that you perfectly understand something now, but a lot of stuff happens, right? And sometimes the finer details can escape us. So it's better for us to, always keep proper documentation, proper variable names, proper spacing, and other things so that you have a proper record of the work you did. Because again, if you are sitting and solving a problem with a lot of hard work, better that you also keep a proper record of how you did it so that you can refer to it whenever you want. Okay, so let's just move to the questions now today. So as usual, I'll ask a question. I'm monitoring the chat on the side on my phone. You guys can put your answers in the chat and then we can discuss. Okay. And I think there aren't many people in the meeting today, so why don't everyone try to answer the questions? Again, this is a live session. The opportunity is given to you to interact with me and to like try to make, it's better to make mistakes now so that you can learn about them better than later on when you're being tested on these things. Okay, this is the first question. In Selenium, which is what you used for your browser based functionality, what is the purpose of WebDriver such as WebDriver dot Chrome? Please put your answers in this chat. Okay, question number B. Sorry, someone says option B, not question B. Any other answers? I can see only one person has answered in the chat. Okay, someone else also says B. Okay, one more B. Anyone else? Okay, B, B, B. Okay, maybe we can go to the answer. So very good. All of you who said is correct. So Selenium is a language which allows us to, interface web automation in Python. So if you want to automate some browser functions and which is what you saw this week, for that only you use Selenium and web drivers. Okay. Next question, which is the best locator strategy in Selenium based on performance? Okay, someone says D, D, B. Seems like it's between B and D. Any other answers? Can see both B and D in the chat. Looks like it's like tied between B and D. I don't see a majority. Okay, any other answers? Okay, maybe you can go to the answer. Sorry. The answer is the ID. So while all of these locators are obviously work in different contexts, when here they are talking about performance, it's also about the speed or efficiency. And here, because ID is actually unique for all the different elements on the web page, it gives us the most fastest way of accessing. Of course, in more complex scenarios, you might have to use one of these others, but just based on a basic level, it is IED which is the most efficient among all these options. Okay, let's go to the next question. Selenium WebDriver can be used to automate both web and native mobile applications on Android and iOS. Is this true or false? Okay, someone says, I see two people saying true. Okay, someone says false. False. True. True, false. Okay, I don't see a majority again. So let's go to the answer maybe. So the answer is false. Again, Selenium WebDriver is primarily used in the case of web browsers. For apps, you have different kinds of frameworks to do. So I'm not a UI person or anything or a computer scientist. So I'm not very familiar with the frameworks. But the main thing here is that Selenium is used for web browsers and all those things. Whereas for applications like on a mobile phone platform like Android and iOS, you might have to use different frameworks. You can look at this in your own time. Yeah, someone has said web browser and apps work differently, which is also true. Okay, fine. Let's go to the next question. So these are all like kind of theoretical questions. So I'm not waiting to ask if anyone has doubt because mostly these are, based on selenium and its uses. So if you have any doubts in this, I would say that you can go and check out, any of the web resources. Now let's go to some of the more coding based questions. Okay. So the question is that there is this nested loop format. What is the output of the following Python code? Any answers in the chat? Okay, two people say A. Any other answers? Okay, one more A. Others also please answer. Okay. Okay, okay, fine. So I can see that now most many people have answered A. So you're all correct. Very good. So in case people have difficulty to understand here again, it's just you have to simply use nested loop concept properly. So remember the difference between break and continue in a loop. When you have continue, it simply skips over an iteration, whereas break means it stops the loop entirely. So that is the main difference here. So here you can see that when for I is in the range 0, 5, which means I can take the value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, always remember that in range the last value is not counted. Again, for each I, because this is a nested loop, for each I we have a j. So now j can take the values 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means for I0 we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I1 you have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 taken by j and so on. But the important thing is whenever J is reaching break, we are just breaking out of the J, sorry, when J reaches 2, we are breaking out of the loop. So that is why even in the answer, you can see that the value of J, which is the second number, is never reaching 2 or any greater number, because the moment it reaches 2, we are breaking out of the loop and then we go back to the higher level, which is the outer loop. Whereas when I is equal to 3, instead of printing any of the cases, it just says continue. So that's why in the final print, you will not see any values of I having the value 3. Only I is equal to 0, 1, 2, and 4 are considered. So this is what shows the difference between break and continue. Break stops the loop entirely and goes to the outer level of whatever the initial program was. It comes out of the loop basically. Whereas in continue, it just continues to the next iteration without breaking the loop entirely. Okay, so without stopping the loop entirely. So this is a difference between break and continue, and that's what this kind of indicates. Okay, any doubts in this question? Any doubts? Okay, good. Let's go to the next question. So this is the next question. So again, we have a code and you have to tell what is the output of the following Python code. So you have an array and a key. So again, here also there's break and continue being used. Okay, someone says B. Any other answers? Yeah, I only see one person who has answered. Others, please answer also. Okay, one more person says B. Someone says D. Okay. Seems like majority says B, but there is one D and C. Maybe we can go to the answer. So the answer is B. So those of you said B correct. So here again, it's important to know the difference between how break and continue work. So first of all, what is this program doing? There is an array and there is a key. The key is the number 7. So whenever the array element is equal to the key, it's printing found at index and whatever the index is. So here we can see that the index is 0, 1, 2, 3. So the number 7 is at the index 3. So ultimately it has to print found at index 3. But at the same time, in every iteration, it's also printing checking array of I. So it will print checking 3, etc. But there is an important extra loop which we have not talked about, which is this second loop. So in the second loop, you can see if array of I mod 2 is equal to 0, this is another way of saying if the element is even, then you simply continue. And as I explained in the previous question, continue means it just skips to the next iteration. So that means that in the first pass, it will print checking 3. Second pass, since 8 is an even number, it will not print this array of I mod 2 is equal to 0. Sorry, it will not, it will satisfy this condition, so it will not print this checking, it will just continue. After that, again, 1 is an odd number, so it will print checking 1. Then finally, it has already found the number, so it will print found at index 3, and then it breaks out of the loop. So there is no more checking that is there. Okay? Is this clear to everyone? So again, the important thing is what break and continue does. Continue skips the iteration, whereas break breaks out of the loop. Okay, good. Next question. What is calendar is leap of 2100, 2100 return? False, true, none, one. Someone says A. Okay. I can see many of you saying A. Oh, okay, fine, good. So I think a lot of you have answered. The answer is actually false. So I think all of you know the funda here. Even though this looks like a leap year because this basically checks if it's a leap year or not. Here basically when we check for years which are divisible by 100, they should be divisible by 400. Then only we count it as a leap year. This is because the leap year is not exactly the concept of leap year itself comes because every year has one extra 1/4 day, but it's not exactly 1/4. So that also accumulates over time. So that's why in multiples of 100, we only count the years which are divisible by 400 to be leap year. So for example, 2000 is a leap year because it's divisible by 100 also, divisible by 400 also. Whereas 2100 is not divisible by 400, and that makes it not be a leap year. So whenever a year is divisible by 100, the divisibility by 4 is not the only option. It should be divisible by both 400 and 4. Then only it is possible. Okay, fine. So this is it should be divisible by 400. Okay. This is the next question. What is the output of date time dot date whatever this is plus date time dot time delta days is equal to 1? Okay, two people say B, others. Okay, one more B. Okay, fine. So I think this is a straightforward question. The answer is B. Very good. So again, 29th February 2024 is a possible date because you know we this was a leap year. Last year was a leap year. Of course, there is no 30th February. So the next day will be 1st March of 2024. Okay, so just remember that this means 29th February 2024. The next value is 1st March 2024. That is what is given here. Okay, so it's simple calendar based question. Next question. What function is used to get the current local time in Python? D. Any other answers? Okay, okay, fine, fine. Okay, I can see all everyone is saying B. So here, I think time dot local. Okay, one sec. Is time dot local time is also an answer. I don't know if I marked this wrongly. Let me just check. Yeah, so time dot local time also gives you the time that is uh, the current time, and date time dot now also gives you the current time. Okay, so I should have indicated this is multiple choice select question. Sorry about that, but yeah, these are the two answers. So we can also just try it. This is in the date, time, and calendar modules. So, sorry. So you can see that if I give this, okay, if I give time dot local time, it gives me the exact local time that it is right now, which is 6:30 roughly. And then if I import the date time module, and if I give date time dot now, oh, so sorry, what was it? Mm, okay, sorry, date time dot. Yeah, so now you can see that that also gives me the current time, which is 6:30. Okay. So these are two ways of doing the same thing, which is to get the current time, local time that is there. So B, all of you said B, which is correct. I'm just saying that A is also a correct option. Okay, and as we just saw in the terminal. Okay, next question. What happens if you apply dot as time zone to a naive date time object? So when you say naive date time object, it means that it does not have any information of the time zone. So if you apply as time zone to it, what happens? Okay, someone says C. C. Okay, C. Seems like everyone says C. Let's look at the answer. So the answer is C, that it assumes the local time zone which is there. In typically a naive datetime object does not have any explicit time zone information. So when you give it dot as time zone, it just takes whatever is the local time zone of the system that you're running on. Okay. Okay, fine. Next question. Here's the next question. So remember PYTZ is used for time zones in Python. It's for getting the proper time zone in Python. Okay, someone says B, B, C, B, B, B. Okay, most of you have said B. Correct answer is B. So here again, this is not a native time object, right? Because this is one where it is aware of the time zone it is, and that's because you are initializing it. Sorry, not native. I keep saying native, naive. It's not a naive object because the naive object is here, which does not have any time zone associated with it. This aware object is made after uh, you make it localized. And because we are in the time zone of it's specified Asia Kolkata, which is Indian Standard Time zone, that's why IST is mentioned. IST is the Indian Standard Time zone. Exactly. IST stands for Indian Standard Time. It's based on the Kolkata latitude. Sorry, longitude, which that it is determined. Okay. Fine. Let's go to now the programming assignments of today. So as usual, I'll give you some time to solve it. Please, all of you give it a good try. Because as I said, only by doing programs will we learn how to actually solve and have doubts and all those things. So I'll give you some time. We have 5 programs today. Let's try because now we are a kind of ahead of time. Let's try to do all of the programs of today. I'll give you like 10-15 minutes for each program and you should be able to do it. Okay. So let's go to the first question. So this is the first question. It's a simple question. You are given a list of n distinct integers in the range of 0 to n inclusive. This means that exactly one number from this range is missing. Your task is to determine and return the missing number. So your input should be a list of numbers containing n distinct integers from 0 to n, and the output will be the missing integer. So for example, here you can see that 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 are there. So that means that probably, what can be there missing in this sequence can only be 5. All the numbers from 0 to 4 are there. That means extra number can only be 5. Similarly, if you have 0, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, this clearly tells us that 3 is missing. 3 is not there. So we need to form a continuous sequence from 0 to n. And if any of the n's are missing, that's what we get. Okay. So this is the question. I'll give you, so now it's 6:35. So let's discuss the answer at 6:45. All of you, please try it. Oh, I think there are only a few people in the meeting. There's like 20 people in the meeting. I think all of you can try it. It's not a very difficult problem. And yeah, I'll give you 10 minutes. If you get the solution before then, don't put it in the chat. Let's give everyone a chance to try. And at 6:45, let's all discuss and share our answers together. Okay? Okay. Okay, I can see that someone says done. It's 6:45. Maybe those of you who have got the solution, you can first put your answers in the chat and then we can discuss the solution together. Okay, someone has put a solution. Any other solutions in the chat? Okay, I see that you have also put a similar solution. Mm. Okay, fine. So two different approaches. In one case, what Akhil has done is you have calculated what should be the sum of numbers from 0 to n using the standard mathematical formula, and what is the actual sum that we are getting, and the difference will give us, of course, what number is missing. And then Biswajit has done it by sorting and then checking if in the sequence any of the numbers are differing by more than one. So very good. Two valid solutions for the case. I'll just show my solution. My solution is similar to Akhil's. So let me just share my screen. Okay. So again, this is a similar thing where we are just calculating the expected sum and then getting the actual sum, and then the difference between them is the missing number. So if I give, for example, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then I get that 5 is the missing number, for example, because the actual sum is different from the expected sum, which is the length. Okay. So that is, it's just a simple program. I don't think there's much to explain. Again, this n into n plus 1 by 2 is something that is there. Um, yeah, n into n plus 1 by 2 is just a standard formula for summing up numbers from 0 to n. And then what we are doing is we are just simply checking if the sums are same. So again, you can see that if 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, then this will come out to be, the expected sum comes out to be whatever this is, which will be 2, 3, 4, 5 into 6 by 2, which is 15. And then the actual sum is 1 plus 2 plus 3 is 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 3, 6 plus 4 is 10. So 15 minus 10 will give us 5. Similarly, sorry. Similarly, if I have something like, uh, let's say 1, 2, okay, I should include 0. So 1, 0, 1, 2, 4, then you can see that the element that's missing is 3. Okay. So this is how this program is done. Okay. Any doubts in this question? Okay. Do we need to use a formula? No, if you have done it in your way, that's perfectly fine. If it works, it works. As I said, programming is one of the fields where you can have a lot of creativity. So if your method works, that's completely fine. So this is just one way of doing it. There's nothing like you have to use the formula. Yeah, I can see what you have done is you have just checked for the if any two numbers are varying more than one, which is also going to give the correct answer. So as long as you understand the logic and it is working fine for all the cases, that's fine. But in your case, the only thing is that if we have a number which is like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, for example, 5 is the missing number. So in that case, all the numbers are varying by one only. It's the last number which is not there, right? So in that case, you'll just have to put an extra condition that if all the numbers are varying by one in the loop, then the missing number is the number next to the largest number. So you will have to put that extra condition. I don't immediately see that condition here. So for example, in this example where I'm giving 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, it gives me 5 is the missing number, right? But in your loop, it will not identify any number because all of them are varying by 1. So you will have to put one extra condition that if none of them are varying, then just return, instead of returning none, you can return the number which is the next biggest number in the list. I mean, here, for example, 4 is the biggest number. So whatever is next to 4 will be 5. So you have to return that. Does that make sense? Okay, good. So yeah, this is the thing that whenever we solve a program, it's not enough to check the cases where it works. We also have to check the cases where it doesn't work. We have to make sure that all our bases are covered. That's why we have to do multiple tests on the same code to see if it is, it should not just work for some specific case, it should work in general for all the cases. Sorry. And that's how you keep track of that by examining with as many different cases and as many different categories as possible. Okay, so if you add that extra condition instead of your return none, if you just add, the other case, then it's fine. Okay, that's it. Okay, fine. I think maybe, or maybe it's not, I don't know. You can just check that. I think that just adding that return should be fine. I'm not running your code. I'm just based on just looking at it for a few minutes, I'm saying. So you can just test out that with some different conditions also. Okay, good. So let's go to the next question. Next question is this. Given a list of integers nums and an integer k, write a Python function to check whether there exists a subsequence, which is a non-contiguous subset of the list, such that the sum of its elements equals k. Return true if such a subsequence exists, otherwise false. So subsequence means we're just taking a subset of these numbers. So for example, if I want to get k is equal to 8, I can add 3 and 5 to get 8. So that means it's possible. If I want to get k is equal to 12, for example, then I know that 5 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 12. So that's possible. But if I give some number like 30, 30 is not possible to get from this subset, right? So that means that it will give me an output of false. So basically, by using the numbers in the list, if I am able to make the sum or not, this is what I have to check. Okay, so I'll give you again some time to solve. So it's 6:50 now. Maybe we can discuss at 7:05. So you guys, please try it out. At 7:05, we'll discuss the answer. Okay. Okay, I can see that there is some discussion in the chat about some question. We can see that after discussing this question. Anyone has the answer to this question? In the meantime, anyone has solved this question? Any answers in the chat? Okay, I can see that someone has shared an answer in the chat. Okay, fine. So I can see that you're just adding up the sum. That's equal to k. So where are you actually having the sum here? Maybe I'm missing current. Okay, okay, I can see current sum plus nums of I. Okay, fine. So you have defined it like that. I can see this. Okay, fine. Okay. So again, if you run it and it works, then it's fine. I will just share the solution that I have now. This is program 2. Right. So here you can see that here we are using a set to track the possible sums. So set is another data structure in Python. I think you have discussed this, but we have not discussed in our class. So let me just quickly talk about sets before we go ahead. So basically, a set is again a data structure which is a container type like list, tuple, or dictionary. Just to recall, lists are our basic arrays. With tuples, we are also our basic arrays, but they are immutable. That is, they are not changeable. Dictionaries are when we store items in pairs, so when they have key and value together. Apart from that, the final data container type is a set. So set is used to store multiple items in single variable, and set items are unchangeable, but you can remove and you can add new items. It's a collection which is unordered, unchangeable, and unindexed. So main thing about set which is interesting is that because you will see that it's unordered, unchangeable, unindexed. The main thing that makes set useful is that duplicate items are not allowed. You can always have a list which is like 1 1 1 1 1, but you cannot have a set like that. If you have set of 1, that means it's 1. So set is similar. All the properties of sets are very much similar to the properties of sets in your mathematics. So in maths also, when we have a set, we cannot have duplicate values. You can define things like the union of a set, the intersection of a set, all those things, subset. Those same concepts can be done in Python also. So you can see that sets are do not allow duplicate values. Set item can appear, and the main thing is these are the properties. So one is that it is unordered, which means that it can appear in a different order every time you use them. You don't really index them. So this is mainly you use a set when you want to just keep track of all the unique items that are there in a particular use case, right? If you just want to keep track of the unique items and not really access them, then you can use a set. But if you want to access them, indices and other things, you can use a list or a tuple. Okay, so here you can see that when we, yeah, maybe I can just do it in Python and show. If I have something like this set is equal to like what they gave, A, B, and then A again, and then I print this set, that just gives me A and B. So it never accepts the duplicate value. So here again, the curly brackets tell me that this is a set. So for example, for list, we had the square bracket. For tuple, it was the curly bracket. And then for dictionary also, it was curly bracket. But remember, the difference between dictionary and set is that in dictionary, we have it in coming in the key value pairs, whereas in set, that is not the case, right? It just comes as just single elements. And then, you can see that, for example, there are some interesting things like true and one are considered to be the same value in a set. So if I just give this, whatever this command is here, and I print the set, you can see that one does not come. And again, because sets are not ordered, you can see that the order in which I gave the thing is not how it's printed, right? So also false and zero are considered the same. Sorry, value and such things. So you can see that you can have all these different kinds of data types. And yeah, this is just about how to construct sets. But yeah, this is basically the four different data types. So with this understanding of set, now you know about all the different containers in Python. So of course, we first started with list, which is ordered, changeable, and allows duplicate members. Tuple is ordered but unchangeable and allows duplicates. In set, we have unordered, unchangeable, and unindexed, and we don't have duplicates. So again, the place where set is useful is where we just need to keep track of the number of unique items in a particular use case, right? Dictionary, as you know, is ordered and changeable, and in dictionaries also you don't have duplicates. You have the storing in terms of key and value pairs. Okay, so these are the four arrays in which in Python can be done. So here, why to use a set to track possible sums? Because there is no difference between if 1 and 2 is giving 3 or 3 and 0 is giving 3 when it comes to a sum, right? Um, as long as the sum is there, it's fine. I don't care if 7 is coming because of 3 plus 4 or 5 plus 2 or 1 plus 6 or whatever it is. So that is why we use set to track the possible sums so that we don't or have the duplicate sums to be present in the list. Now we are iterating through each number in the list and we are just creating a set of all the numbers. So, you can see that num plus s in possible sums, and then we are just keeping on updating the set with what are the possible sums. So you can see how it gets updated. So if this sum k, which is the number we are checking, is there in the possible sums, then we return true, otherwise we return false. So again, the reason why a set is used here as opposed to a list, you can do the same thing with a list also, or a tuple, or whatever you want, but here it's just for the efficiency. Because again, if the same number can be obtained by 1 plus 2 plus 4 or 5 plus 1, that doesn't matter to me. Sorry, 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7, so it will be 6 plus 1. If it's 6 plus 1 or 4 plus 2 plus 1, that doesn't matter to me as long as it's 7, right? So that's why, just to get rid of that extra duplicates thing, we use a set. And so that we can also discuss what a set is. After that, it's the usual stuff. So again, let's try it out now. Okay, wait, let me clear all this. Let's try it out now. So if I just give 1, 2, 3, 6, and if I want to get 5, I can get it as 2 plus 3, right? But if I give 1, 2, 3, 6, and I give something like 19, then that's false. There's no way for me to get 19. So this is the answer. Any doubts in this question? Okay. If not, we can go to the next question. Before that, someone was saying that in assignment there's one question when I wrote the code, but it's showing error after running the code, while in other application it's working without any error. So, what is the exact error you are getting? Can you share the error with us, or if you have any photo, you can share it. Maybe we can check it now. The person who had asked that doubt. The person who has the doubt, if you have any photo, if you can tell us more details of what is a particular error you're getting, it will be useful, because I don't know exactly what is the issue now. If you have some screenshots or something, you can share. In any case, as I've said multiple times, I am not in charge of correcting the assignments or evaluating them. So I will not be able to really change your grade or anything like that. But so if there is something like that, I would tell you to bring it up in the discussion forum, the Google discussion forum on the course page. But yeah, if you want some Python help, we can look at the assignment now. I can give you some hint. I don't want to give you the answer because assignments are supposed to be solved by you. But yeah, if you give me some more details of the error, then I can help. Maybe you can check for that. We'll go to the next question. I'll give you some time to solve. And in the meantime, if the person who asked the previous thing can find something, we can discuss it when we discuss the next answer. For now, let's go to the next question. This is the next question. Given a string representing a large integer, return the largest valued odd integer as a string that is a substring of s. So let's try to understand this again. So we are not looking for a integer here. Here the data type we are inputting is not an integer, it's a string. But it's a string completely of numbers. Okay, it's completely made of numbers. But it's a string. It's still a string, it's not an integer. You have to return the largest valued odd integer as a string that is a substring of s. The result should not contain any leading zeros. The input string may contain leading zeros. Leading zeros means zeros at the beginning of the number. So for example, if I have something like 00012, then the largest odd number that can be there is 1, right? But I should not print it as 0001. I should just print it as 1. Okay. So these are the constraints that the string should be in this length, and you can see that every element in the string is a digit between 0 to 9. So for example, if I input something like 5347, then you can see that I can have 5 as an odd number, I can have 3 as an odd number, I can have 347 as an odd number, 53 is an odd number, 5347 itself is an odd number. So of all these, the longest odd number that is possible is 5347. So again, I'm saying the input, even though it looks like a number, it's not a number, it's actually a string. Okay, and the output is also a string. So you should take a string, look at what subset of the string could be the largest valued odd integer as a string and return it. Okay, so it's 7:16. I'll give you till 7:30 to do this question. Please all of you try it and we can discuss the answer at 7:30. Mm. Just give me a minute, okay? Please continue solving. I'll be back. Did any of you get the solution to this question? Anyone got the solution? Okay, I'll give some more time. Okay, we can discuss at 7:30. I'll give you 5 more minutes if you're still trying. Meanwhile, if you've got the solution, please put it in the chat. Okay, did anyone get the answer? Anyone got the answer yet? Okay, if not, let's maybe discuss the solution. You guys can check the solution where maybe some of you are stuck somewhere. We can see the solution and you can decide. So I'm just going to discuss. Again, please, all of you try these questions. We are reaching the end of your course. And, again, the most important thing is that you have come away from this course with this feeling of, that you know something about Python. Okay, so this is a good program. So again, just to remind you, the question is that we are given a string, not a number, but a string which is of many digits. And in this string, we should find what is the largest valued odd integer which is part of this string. So here, for example, in 5347, we have 5, we have 53, we have 347, but then we also have the whole number 5347. And of course, the largest odd number will be 5347. Okay. So here what we are going to do is we are going to iterate through the string from the end to the beginning. Okay. So this is what we are doing. So basically from the last digit of the string, which is index of s minus 1, all right. because of course the length of the string minus 1 will be the last number, because always the indexing starts from 0. We are going to go back to the beginning, and we have to give here minus 1 and not 0, because remember in range always the last number is not included. So if we don't give 0, if we give 0, then the first letter of the string would not have been counted, right? So that's why minus 1 is given. And here minus 1 is the third element in range, because in range it's given as start, stop, and step. So this basically tells me that I am going from the end of the string and I'm going backwards. Why means because whenever I find the last digit, that will be the longest number, right? The last odd number in the string, if I take the first digit to the last odd number in the string, that gives me the biggest number by default. So whenever I find an odd digit, I just break out of the loop because I've got my solution. Then I just have to write the string from the first digit to just whatever that index was. Okay. So the other thing was that they said that that you should not have any leading zeros in the output. So suppose my number, my input was 0005347. The output just should just be 5347. It should not be 005347. So that's why we have the second loop. In the second loop, you can see that we are going from the beginning this time and checking for any zeros. And in any of the zeros, we are just going to skip over them, so that the starting index will be after all the zeros and the ending index will be whatever is the last odd number in the number, and that will exactly give me what is the largest odd number substring. Okay, any doubts in this question how to do? I hope it's understandable to all of you. I think it's not very difficult. Okay, so someone has given the answer also. So strip of 0. Okay, good. So this person has just given L strip, which is another way to get rid of the zeros. So here now let's try giving the same number that we had, 53467, something like that. Then you can see that 53467 is given as the largest number. Suppose we had given something like 55555, 6665558. Then you can see that up till here is what is the largest odd number, and that is what is returned. Okay, so the important thing here is to recognize that we just have to identify just one number, which is the last odd number in the thing. So for that, it's better to just traverse the list from back and just break whenever you find that odd number. So is this clear to everyone? Clear to everybody? Yes, no, any doubts? Guess not. And the person who had the doubt in the assignment, I don't know if they're still in the meeting or not. I don't think so. But if you are in the meeting, you can please send what is the exact error you're facing, because then I can help. And again, if it is something regarding the grading of the assignment, please put it in the discussion forum. That will be a better place, because I am not in charge of correcting the assignments as such. So that is the issue. If you have some screenshots, you can put screenshots of the code working. And again, if you give us the exact error, maybe we can help. Me and also your friends who are in the meeting, they may be able to help. Okay, let's go to the next question. I think this question is clear. It's a simple question. Given your birth date in year, month, date format, that's only YMD, write a Python program to find present age in years. So I think 10 minutes is enough for this question. So it is now 7:33. Let's discuss this at 7:45. Okay. So please try it out. Let me know. Oh, the assign. Okay, some assignment is done. There's just an error about. Okay, yeah. If you can get some screenshot about what is the error, then it will be useful. Again, when we can check it together. Okay, has anyone got the solution to the question? Okay. Okay, good. So someone has got the solution. They have used the date time module. So again, as I said before, in Python, we have so many different modules and libraries for dealing with specific functions. In this week, you have seen particularly about date time and calendar modules, and this person has done exactly that. So I will also just show my solution. So here again, so today dot year minus birthday dot year. And the important thing is if your birthday has not come yet, then your age is going to be one less, right? It will not be exactly that, just the difference between the years. So if your birthday is not yet come, then difference of the years minus one. So that's why this is given. So this is basically today dot month comma day and birthday dot month comma day. So here you can see that today dot month comma day, if it is less than month birth date dot month comma day, which means that your birthday is before today sorry today's date is before the birthday, then this will just be, this will be a true condition, so it will give a -1. Whereas if your birthday is less than this, that means your birthday has already come, this condition will become false, so this will give a 0, so it will just be the difference between the years. So the important thing here is that to keep in mind that it's not just the difference between the years, we also have to take care of whether the birthday has already happened or not, right? So if someone's birthday is on December 31st, then until December 31st, they will still be that age, right? You cannot just take the difference between the years. So now you can see how it works. If I just give, someone who was born on 5th June 1994, they are today 31 years, right? Whereas if I had given the same 1994, but I gave it as 31st December, you can see that they are 30 years. So even though both the birthdays were in the same year, because of the birthday has not happened yet, for that reason, we see that there is not the difference in the age. So remember, when calculating the age, this is an important aspect. Okay, so there's just one more program to go. Maybe I'll just show the question and the solution because we are nearly at the end of the class. I don't want to take extra time. So this is the question. Given a string of date format YYYYMMDD, again these are year, month, date, compute the life path number. So life path number is the number obtained by summation of individual digits of each element repeatedly till an single digit is obtained. So I think something similar you have already solved. So I will just show you the answer immediately. So here what you do is that again you can try solving this again in your own time. So I recommend that all of you, I'll be sharing all the slides and the video recording, everything has been shared with you along with the programs that I'm discussing. I'll just share the link after this, but I will recommend that even if you have the programs at hand, even if it's a program whose solution you've seen, still try writing it yourself, because when you write a solution yourself, that time it really becomes even if you think you understood it when someone else did it, when we write ourselves only a lot of doubts and stuff pop up. So even if it's a solution you've seen, try to do it yourself and then you can compare with the solutions that I have provided in the Google Drive. In any case, here's a solution to the last program. So we basically have to keep summing up the digits until I get just a single number as the value. So for example, very simple example with a 3-digit number I can show you. For example, if I have the number 123, then or sorry, if I have the number, let's say 999, right? If I add 9 plus 9 plus 9, that gives 27. Then if I again add 2 plus 7, I get 9. So 999 comes out to be 9 again as the life path number of that number. So similarly, if I do it for a birthday, that's how this is doing. So for example, if you have, 1997 March 14, right? Year, month, date. This is the original string. Then what I'm doing is just trying to add up the number. So why just if it's greater than 9, that means I'm not having a single digit number, I'm having something that is greater than that. So I have to keep taking the remainder and dividing by 10, right? So just keep on doing this until the test string changes. So this is the idea. Okay, so this is how it works. So basically, you are for each number in the string, result is this, and if the result is greater, then do this. So let's try this now. So you can see that if I do this, all the steps are not shown, but if you add this up and then you continue adding, you will get 7. So we can actually try it out. So this is 10. 10 plus 9, 19. 19 plus 7 is 26. 26 plus 3 is 29, 30, and this is 34, right? 34, if I add 3 and 4 together, I will get 7. So, because this is a birth date, that whatever you add up, you will mostly get a two-digit number only. That's why just a single step is required. Okay. So I hope that is clear. That was the last question of today. So yeah, we have few minutes left. If you have any doubts at this point, please let me know. And as usual, all the videos, recorded video, and also the slides are available to you. I maintain a link on my website where I keep everything. I can just put the link in the chat. So this is my website, page in my website. If you just go to this page, you can see that the meeting link, YouTube playlist of all the videos so far. There have been 10 weeks of this class. So you can see all the weeks so far, the videos are uploaded. Also, you can find the slides of the sessions here. So in the slides, each week you can see that I also provide the programs that have been discussed each week. So along with the slides, you can also find the programs. But again, I would highly encourage all of you to not just look at the programs, but try, even if you look at the programs, even after looking at the solution, try to write the program yourself. Until you write the program yourself, all these strange doubts and things will not come up. Okay, so that is important. Okay, fine. So I don't think I have anything more to discuss. I can just share my email ID. If you have any doubts or pressing concerns, you can mail me. But again, I'm reminding you, I'm an external person, so I don't grade your assignments or I'm not in charge of your exams. So those kinds of doubts are better suited to discussion forum. But apart from that, if you have any queries, you can always mail me. Specifically, if you have subject related queries, I'm happy to help you out or give you some resources to best of what I know. So any other questions, concerns? Anything else to be discussed? Okay, if not, let's end the session for today. I'll see you next week for the last class, same time on Monday from 6 to 8. Have a nice rest of your week. Bye, everyone. Thank you for joining.